Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. It's now official. Terron Armstead, the dominant and ever-respected offensive tackle, has officially retired from the NFL. Though fans got wind of his decision back in April, the Miami Dolphins placed him on the reserve retired list this Monday, cementing what was already a moment of deep reflection for many across the league. Armstead's departure marks the end of a 12-season journey that began in 2013 when the New Orleans Saints drafted him in the third round. From that moment, he became not just a standout athlete on the field, but a cornerstone presence in every locker room he entered. For those who followed his career closely, Armstead's story is one of grit, resilience, leadership, and integrity. A player who gave everything to the game and did it the right way. Monday's paperwork might just be a formality, but it signals a new era, not only for the Dolphins, but for the NFL community as a whole. The Dolphins' decision to wait until after June to make the move official wasn't just a timing thing. It was a calculated financial decision. By doing so, Miami eased the cap burden Armstead leaves behind. Instead of a $9 million hit, his cap charge for this season drops to $7.8 million, according to Over the Cap. Smart cap management in a league where every dollar matters. But that doesn't mean the Dolphins are totally off the hook. They'll still carry a hefty $10.8 million in dead money into 2026. It's the price you pay for having had an elite player under your roof, even if only for a few seasons. Armstead accepted a pay cut earlier in the offseason, a gesture that underscored his professionalism and team-first mindset. Even as he was eyeing the door, he made sure to leave the Dolphins in the best financial shape possible. That's leadership. Armstead's emotional retirement speech back in April already had people talking. It wasn't just a goodbye. It was a celebration, a reflection, and a heartfelt thank you to the organizations and individuals who shaped his life in football. That night in Miami, surrounded by teammates past and present, he let the world in on his journey. From his roots at Arkansas Pine Bluff to the bright lights of the NFL, Armstead shared how football wasn't just a sport. It was his life. This has literally been my life, he wrote in a moving post on X. I walk away grateful, proud, excited, and at peace, knowing I did it the right way. For fans and peers alike, this wasn't just another retirement. It was a passing of the torch from one of the NFL's most respected linemen. His social media posts were as raw and real as it gets. On Instagram, Armstead reflected on the difficulties of leadership, not just over others, but over oneself. My greatest challenge was leading me, he wrote. That line hit hard for many, especially those who understood the immense discipline and personal sacrifice required to survive, let alone thrive, in the NFL trenches for over a decade. He closed the post with a simple yet powerful statement. 72 is officially retiring from the NFL. It was a number that had become synonymous with toughness, consistency, and leadership. In that same message, he thanked a long list of names: owners, coaches, GMs, and of course, teammates. He didn't just shout them out, he celebrated them, calling out the Benson family, Stephen Ross, Mickey Loomis, Chris Greer, Sean Payton, and Mike McDaniel. It was clear this was a man leaving the game with no regrets, only love. The retirement party itself, held on April 5th, was less like a farewell and more like a family reunion. Saints and Dolphins players came together to honor not just the player, but the man behind the face mask. And the love poured in fast. Tyreek Hill, never one to hold back on social media, wrote, "I'm crying real tears." It was a statement. That, while short, captured the emotional weight of the night. Then there was Drew Brees, who shared the trenches with Armstead for nearly a decade in New Orleans. Brees recounted how Armstead didn't even start as a rookie, but quickly proved he belonged. It became evident very quickly that this guy was not only going to be a starting left tackle for us for a very long time, he was going to be a leader. And that he was, on the field, in the huddle, and throughout the league. What made Armstead even more remarkable wasn't just his skill, it was his perseverance. He openly referred to himself as the most injured guy in NFL history, a title he wore with an odd kind of pride. He never played a full 16-game season. In fact, 4 of his first 6 seasons saw him play 10 or fewer games. But his teammates knew better than to question his toughness. They saw the hours of rehab, the pain he pushed through, the commitment to being game ready no matter what. Injuries never stopped him from being present, from leading, from anchoring. Out of line, his presence was always felt, and that's why he earned the respect of so many. In 2022, when Armstead joined the Dolphins, it didn't take long for him to make his mark. Even in his early 30s, with a career's worth of wear and tear on his body, he continued to dominate. He racked up 2 more Pro Bowl appearances, serving as the cornerstone of Miami's offensive line. And once again, he became a voice in the locker room that everyone listened to. It's rare for a free agent signing to become a captain almost immediately, but Armstead wasn't just anyone. His leadership, football IQ, and calm demeanor under pressure made him indispensable. In just 3 seasons in South Florida, he left a lasting legacy, a testament to his character and professionalism. Tributes from the Dolphins came swiftly. The team's official X account posted, "A true leader on the field and in the community." Congratulations on a great NFL career. Jalen Ramsey chimed in on Instagram with, "My dog, a heck of a career." And Jalen Waddle? Just one word, HOF, Hall of Fame. That's the kind of impact Armstead had. Players didn't just respect him, they saw him as one of the game's all-time greats. Whether or not he eventually wears a gold jacket, in the hearts of those he played alongside, he's already enshrined. That kind of admiration doesn't come easy. You earn it every single snap, every single practice, every single rehab session. And Armstead earned it 10 times over. Now, with the paperwork done and the cleats hung up for good, Terron Armstead steps into the next chapter of his life. And he does so the same way he played, full of grace, humility, and purpose. He mentioned being at peace, and you can feel that in every word he shared. There's no bitterness, no what-ifs, no lingering doubts. Just gratitude for the game, for the people who helped him along the way, and for the opportunity to live out a dream most can only imagine. It's the kind of exit we all hope to have in any career, in any walk of life. A bow taken not in defeat but in triumph. And as Armstead rides off into retirement, one thing is clear. The NFL is better for having had him. So what comes next for T-Stead? That's the million-dollar question. With his leadership qualities and football IQ, coaching wouldn't be a surprise. Or maybe front office work, where his experience could guide future generations. There's even a chance he steps into our broadcast booth. His articulate, thoughtful communication style could make him a natural. But whatever he chooses, there's no doubt he'll give it the same dedication he gave to football. Because for Terron Armstead, it was never just about the game. It was about doing it right, lifting others up, and leading by example. And that's why, even in retirement, his legacy continues. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? The rumor mill is running harder than ever, and if what insiders are saying is true, we're about to witness a seismic shift in the league's power dynamics. According to multiple sources close to the situation, Nick BOSA is reportedly set to sign with the Miami Dolphins in what could be one of the most stunning moves of the offseason. But that's not all. This move would unite him with his brother Joey BOSA, creating a defensive duo unlike anything we've ever seen before. Can you even imagine the terror these two would bring crashing down on quarterbacks every single Sunday? This isn't just about one big-name signing. It's about a family legacy ready to dominate the NFL gridiron like never before. Now, for those of you wondering how we even got here, let's rewind a bit. Nick BOSA, an absolute monster on the defensive line, has been the cornerstone of the San Francisco 49ers defense for years now. From his rookie season, he showcased rare athleticism, strength, and technique, quickly becoming one of the most feared pass rushers in the league. On the other hand, his older brother, Joey BOSA, has carved out an equally impressive career with the Los Angeles Chargers, being selected to multiple Pro Bowls and widely respected for his relentless motor and ability to disrupt offensive schemes. The BOSA brothers have long dreamed of playing together in the NFL, and now, with Nick allegedly heading to the Dolphins, that dream could finally become a reality. And let's not forget, Miami's defense was already stacked. Adding Nick, BOSA could elevate them straight into the stratosphere. From a strategic standpoint, this rumored move makes perfect sense for the Dolphins. Miami has been aggressively building a roster capable of not just making the playoffs, but contending for a Super Bowl. With a young, dynamic offense led by Tua Tagovailoa and elite playmakers like Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the Dolphins have been missing just one thing: a truly terrifying defense that can consistently shut down the best offenses in the league. Enter the BOSA brothers. The combination of Nick's explosive first step and Joey's brute strength would make Miami's defensive front a nightmare for any opposing offensive line. Coaches would lose sleep game planning against a defense that could pressure the quarterback from multiple angles while still having the speed and athleticism to contain the run game. This isn't just about sacks, it's about creating chaos on every down. But let's talk about the emotional side of this potential reunion. For years, Nick and Joey have been each other's biggest supporters, training together in the offseason, pushing each other to be better, and dreaming of the day they'd line up on the same side of the field. Growing up in a football family, with their father John BOSA having played in the NFL as well, the brothers have always shared a unique bond that goes beyond the game itself. Imagine the electricity in that Dolphins locker room as these two warriors prepare together, feeding off each other's energy and raising the competitive level of the entire team. Fans would rally around them, creating an atmosphere in Miami that we haven't seen since the days of the no-name defense or even the legendary Wildcat era. This would be must-watch football, plain and simple. Of course, every big move comes with its share of skepticism and questions. Some analysts are already debating whether Miami would be able to afford such a blockbuster signing under the salary. Capping, Nick Bosa's current contract status would require the Dolphins to either make significant roster adjustments or possibly backload his deal to ensure financial flexibility. There's also the matter of health. Both BOSA brothers have battled injuries throughout their careers, with Joey missing chunks of time due to various ailments and Nick famously tearing his ACL in 2020. But when healthy, they are arguably the most dominant pass rushers in the game today. So the risk is real, but so is the reward. And for a team that's been on the cusp of greatness, it might just be the gamble they need to make. Meanwhile, let's not underestimate the ripple effects this potential signing would send across the AFC East and the entire NFL. The Dolphins would instantly become one of the most feared defenses in the league, altering the balance of power within their division. The Buffalo Bills and New York Jets would have to adjust their offensive strategies entirely, knowing that Nick and Joey BOSA could collapse the pocket in seconds. Not to mention, New England's steady but aging offense could find itself completely outmatched by this new defensive juggernaut. This would be more than just a personnel upgrade. It would be a psychological one as well, giving Miami an edge that few teams possess: the fear factor. Teams would step onto the field already knowing they're in for a brutal physical battle. Now picture this: week 1 of the NFL season, the Dolphins take the field with both BOSA brothers on either end of the defensive line. The stadium is roaring, the crowd is electric, and opposing quarterbacks are visibly rattled before the ball is even snapped. The cameras pan to the BOSA family in the stands, proud and emotional, watching their sons fulfill a lifelong dream. Every sack, every tackle for loss, every big play would be a testament to years of hard work, sacrifice, and brotherhood. The Saudi marketing potential alone is off the charts. Jersey sales would skyrocket, national broadcasts would clamor for Miami games, and the Dolphins would become one of the most talked about teams in all of sports. Oh, this isn't just a football story. It's a human story filled with passion, family, and the pursuit of greatness. But what about the San Francisco 49ers? Losing Nick BOSA would be a monumental blow to their defense, one that could ripple through the entire organization. BOSA wasn't just a great player. He was the heart and soul of their defensive identity. For years, San Francisco has prided itself on building a ferocious defensive front. And BOSA was the crown jewel of that philosophy. His departure would force the 49ers to reevaluate their entire defensive scheme and perhaps look to the draft or free agency to fill the gaping hole left by his exit. Fans in the Bay Area would undoubtedly feel a mix of heartbreak and gratitude, knowing they got to witness one of the league's best, but also grappling with the reality of moving forward without him. For the Dolphins organization, this potential signing represents not just a short-term boost, but a long-term investment in championship contention. By bringing in Nick Bosa and pairing him with Joey, Miami would signal to the rest of the league that they are all in. The front office, led by general manager Chris Grier, has already made bold moves in recent years, and this would be yet another aggressive step toward building a team capable of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. It also reflects a broader trend in the NFL. Teams willing to make blockbuster acquisitions to chase immediate success. From the Rams acquiring Matthew Stafford to the Eagles stacking up talent across their roster, we've seen how bold moves can pay off. The Dolphins seem poised to follow that blueprint. At the end of the day, whether or not this rumor comes to fruition, it has already ignited the imaginations of fans everywhere. The idea of the BOSA brothers teaming up in Miami is the kind of storyline that transcends typical sports news. It's the stuff of legends. If it happens, we're talking about one of the most formidable defensive tandems in NFL history. If it doesn't, well, it still serves as a reminder of how much the game is about more than just X's and O's. It's about family dreams and the relentless pursuit of excellence. So keep your notifications on, stay tuned for more updates, and get ready, because if Nick Bosa is truly heading to the Dolphins, the NFL will never be the same again. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.